What's up, guys? I got the keys here, back with another video. So today I want to talk about untying the knots of self and reuniting with that inner self, right? So if you look at the word, right, untie, if you just rearrange the letters, you get unite, right? So if you can untie the knots of this box that we've created around ourselves, right? This human concept that can't see past, the 3D, right? So when you can untie those knots of the hex that you put on yourself, the hexagram, right? So you put that 6-pointed star on yourself, right? And you put yourself in a box, right? A cube. This is what they call Metatron's cube, right? Or you could just say it's your Merkaba, right? Your star. It's your energy field. Okay? It's your light body, in other words. So untying these knots of fear, untying the knots of guilt, untying the knots of shame, jealousy, anger, pride, all of it, right? And re-alchemizing them into something greater, right? That's what we're here to do, right? To remember who we are, what our purpose is, what are we bringing to this earth, how are we helping, how are we raising the frequency, right? And untying those knots also is going to bring more blessings to you, right? You're not dealing with as much pain and suffering, right? Because your ego is the only one that's going to ever feel that way, right? Your soul simply wants to experience things. Your ego is the one that gets hurt, right? Your soul cannot get hurt. It's impossible, right? But uniting the self is the other thing, right? You want to be uniting within the self, right? Uniting your masculine and feminine energies, right? Now they're already one in the other side, right? But you have to awaken to that and realize who you are, right? Realize. Use your realize and realize who you are, right? See the real self. You are God playing human. So if we can untie the knots, break the cube open, right? And we cross it out, right? So now we have crucified the self, right? Crucify means to multiply, right? So you're crucifying the Christ, which is the oil at the bottom of your spine, right? That junk DNA that they call, it is basically your Kundalini energy, the Christ oil, right? Which Christ means the anointed one. So you're moving the Christ up the spine, right? And you're basically untying these knots as you go, right? And each one you're turning into a higher version of, right? So like the opposite of it. And so when you can untie the knots and come back into self, life is more blissful, right? There's less worrying. Less worrying when issues come up, right? And there's less fear, right? You don't have to know what's going on. You're just excited to see what comes next, right? But yeah, like this is what we do is we're trying to untie all of the old programs out of our consciousness, right? And unite our original self, right? Remembering that we already are united with that self. So break out of the spell, right? That you put upon yourself, right? that amnesia that you've put upon yourself, right? It's time to deveil yourself, right? There is no devil. So deveil yourself, right? You are your only enemy, and there is no end of me, because I am an infinite being of love and light. So not only are you uniting with yourself, right? But you're also uniting with everything. Everything here is you. Every other body, every other person. Yes, we have diversity, but we are all one, on the other side. There is no separation, right? You are a separate ray, right, of light. But you are also the same light, but you have your own expression, right? Your own soul blueprint. So again, we untie those knots, we unite the self, and we realize our God self, the awakened one within, the one that sees everybody as love, the one that sees everybody as perfect for their journey, right? It's time to discover yourself, right? Take the mask off. Put the ego down. God is you. So I hope that you grabbed something from this video that helped you, and I hope that you can untie those knots and find yourself again, and know that you have the strength, you have the power, you have the will to do it all. God is right there with you. You don't have to fight these battles alone, right? Shine your light, spread your love, open your awareness, and keep ascending, keep going up. That's all we can do is elevate, right? So I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope that something was taken from this that you can take into your life and use. This journey is absolutely crazy, and anybody that's been on it knows stuff is not easy, right? But the ride is what it's all about, right? That journey is the fun part. So keep climbing the ladder, right? Keep looking for your heaven state. And I promise you will find it. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, love, prosperity.